You could have
deal
the
for you?
2017 footage of Albanese at Splendor in the Grass saying that Donald Trump scares the S out of him.
that would be
And then Trump could say, I'm not so scary a guy, am I? Come on there, you know? Yeah.
Well, you've also got the footage of Albanese basically as a young radical leftist, pro-Palestinian, anti-Israel supporter back in the day.
He wasn't that young. He was well into adulthood at that point.
So there's that footage as well. There's plenty of footage. But back to your Kevin Rudd thing. I mean, that's fascinating.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's obviously a lot of horse trading, and one thing that I have heard is a serious criticism of Kevin Rudd in his engagement. He has been very active trying to engage with, say, Commerce Department, Defense Department, all the different government departments, but his engagement with the White House has, I am told, been virtually nil.
Well, he was running around during the week suggesting that, this Labour's green fantasy that will be some kind of renewable superpower or something like this. So he's clearly pitching to a new job. You never know. Maybe he wants one of those.
There could be some clean climate council sort of deal.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, what
he could replace Tim Flannery. Wouldn't that be good?
Well, what we know about Kevin Rudd is he's all for Kevin Rudd before anything else. And that's why he was so ill-suited to this role. And the fact that he has just said the most ridiculous, outrageous things about the Trump administration, not just Donald Trump, but other members of that administration. He is just completely ill-suited. He is not serving Australia's best interest by being in that role. If he wanted to serve Australia's best interest, he would have resigned as soon as Donald Trump was elected, because he knew he could not get Australia what we want. I mean, he's supposed to be our leading diplomat, so that he's there to smooth the waters, to get us the most advantageous trade deal, to make sure we are top of mind when it comes to decision making, and none of that has happened.
And this sort of diplomacy, it's just important to remember the history. We had a very good relationship with Donald Trump during the first Trump administration, and that was all down to Joe Hockey, because Joe Hockey started to make liaisons and approaches to the Trump campaign long before there was any sense that he was going to become the president. Back when everybody had written him off, he went out and he made contact with Trump, and he started to develop that relationship. And that's why, even if you had a guy like Malcolm Turnbull in the chair, they were still able to get deals done between the United States and Australia over, remember the refugees on that island and the visas and submarines and everything else.
Well, Albo obviously looked around to try and find some people to take with him that hadn't said terrible things about Trump in the past. He found Tim Ayres. He obviously had to get rid of Wong for the meeting. Tim Ayres is there. But Madeleine King, I don't know. She was very keen on Joe Biden's
urging Trump to retain Biden's ridiculous Inflation Reduction Act. And it was one of the first comments she made after Donald Trump's election triumph back in November. So, again, ill-advised.
That was the best they could find.
Why would you come out and urge the new US president, who has absolutely slammed that legislation, to stick with it? I mean, again, just say nothing. If you can't say something sensible that's in Australia's interest, then just say nothing.
But you can imagine the poor old interns sitting there wading through all the Labor MPs' Twitter feeds and social media. Oh no, another one. Oh God, they said this about. Ooh, can't have her going or can't have him going. Oh my God, you can imagine. It must have been a nightmare. Madeleine King and Tim Ayres were the best they could find to represent Australia.